Hey, what's up guys? Rev here. Today we're going to address an anime streaming service that is, by all reasonable interpretations of the evidence publicly available, a complete scam. Now, much to the surprise of many of you I'm sure, we're not talking about the usual suspects here. This doesn't involve Crunchyroll or Funimation, although they're scams in their own sense for underpaying their employees and translators, as well as strong-arming Japanese studios into selling licensing rights for dirt cheap. At least at the end of the day, they deliver a product. More than what can be said about the company and its unrealistic promises that we'll be talking about in this video. Today, we are looking at the new anime streaming service that promises to change the game entirely, AnimeTube. And no, that's not the name of a new hentai site. As we will see from everything provided in today's video, this project is almost surely a scam, promising things they have no hopes to deliver, which isn't a big deal until you find out they have already crowdsourced over 6 figures to back it all. And very quickly, before we dive into this manga full of twists and turns, a little disclaimer: everything I talk about today either comes from a pair of Anime News Network articles, whose authors have also been in contact with AnimeTube regarding this story, or from public postings made by the team behind AnimeTube or other creators. So please, don't kill the messenger boy. So let's jump into the articles by Anime News Network from a couple days ago. The first titled, Anime Industry Professionals Criticize AnimeTube Kickstarter as Total Scam. Now, as we march through all of this, I'm going to weave through the information contained in the original article and the follow-up article that came out more recently to give the most accurate info. So here we go. Since its launch on Tuesday, a Kickstarter campaign has earned over $110,000 in pledges for an anime streaming app called AnimeTube. The campaign promises to deliver free anime on demand and claims it will fix the shortcomings of the existing official services, including their limited libraries. However, various industry professionals have criticized the Kickstarter, calling its promises unrealistic. So this entire project is very similar to what people like myself have hoped in theory one day would exist. The hope is some competition for big anime streaming services like Crunchyroll and Funimation that would deliver a more reasonably priced product that is also fair to the studios it licenses from. The problem is, and as you'll very quickly see, is that this service is promising things it has no way, at the very least legally, the power to deliver. It's essentially a pirating website that masks itself as a legitimate streaming service, likely with the intent to gain public funding and support more easily. And honestly, looking through AnimeTube's funding page, it resembles something you would see from a Kickstarter crap video iDubbbz would have uploaded a few years back. AnimeTube launched its Kickstarter campaign on July 6th, which had earned $101,000 of its $50,000 goal from 938 backers before Kickstarter suspended the campaign. And as a side note, it is almost impossible to get suspended from Kickstarter, so that should tell you something. After the Kickstarter campaign launch, various industry professionals criticized the campaign, calling its promises unrealistic. At the time of the launch, the Kickstarter included a link to a list of titles that AnimeTube claimed were currently in discussion for licenses. The list included hundreds of titles that were already licensed by other distributors for the US streaming market. The list of titles was later removed from the Kickstarter campaign. Without surprise, word of these very suspect licensing claims quickly reached industry professionals, including those who had rights to or outright owned the titles AnimeTube claimed they were in quote-unquote discussion with. Sean Kleckner, CEO of Nozomi Entertainment, which owns licensing rights of dozens of anime titles, publicly tweeted at AnimeTube, "Why do you have listing for my titles on your Kickstarter's anime licensing currently in discussion? We are not in discussion with you." The link to the list of titles was later removed from the Kickstarter page, and in now a deleted tweet, AnimeTube responded to Kleckner, "Hi Sean, we've contacted you on your LinkedIn to discuss directly with you." And this caught in 4K moment was just the beginning of the criticism coming towards AnimeTube. Jacob Grady, founder of hentai manga website and publisher Faku, also doubts about the trustworthiness of the AnimeTube team, tweeting, "I've had run-ins with these guys before, total scam." The founder of AnimeTube, George Weller, disputed this claim, saying he had never encountered Grady before. "I've never heard of this person, nor have I ever had contact with him to my knowledge." Grady declined to elaborate on his previous alleged dealing with AnimeTube, stating legal restrictions, which sounds like a whole nother can of worms stemming from AnimeTube and its team members involved. The campaign was also criticized for using images of anime titles that it had not yet licensed for promotional purposes, including Sword Art Online, Full Metal Alchemist, Attack on Titan, and Death Note. The images were since removed from the Kickstarter page. Anime Limited marketing chief Miles Thomas, a former Crunchyroll staff member, tweeted, "The very fact that they've used those IP to sell their service prior to a licensing agreement makes it unbelievably unlikely that the rights holders would even be willing to work with them now, even if they had a chance before." And that's still not the end of it. The Kickstarter included a reference to the Association of Japanese Animators, AJA, claiming that AnimeTube had been in discussions with the group. Owner of the video company Media OCD, Justin Savakis, commented, "My favorite thing about their Kickstarter is the claim that they have a lead on licensing stuff because they have a meeting with the AJA. AJA is not a licensing organization, they're a trade group. They represent the contractor studios. The reference to the association, written incorrectly as the Association of Japanese Animators, has since been removed from the Kickstarter page as well." Savakis also tweeted, "They're about a decade late to that business model and competing with Netflix, Warner Media, NBC Universal, hell, even Disney has been sniffing around for anime streaming rights." Again, reinforcing the idea that AnimeTube has no way to follow through on their promises. Weller and AnimeTube once again respond to all this by saying, "We were told that the AJA were impressed, happy with everything we presented, especially our concepts for Amy-chan, and they give us their full support in regards to streaming licensing and getting into the industry. Anything else is business confidential. I hope you can understand we can't divulge into everything about our business dealings." And there is strong evidence that this is not the first time AnimeTube has been in trouble with other companies. The app's name is identical to another app that was pulled from the Microsoft Store last year, although the Kickstarter page makes no claim of association. However, the previous app, which pulled anime video from multiple sources including unauthorized YouTube uploads, unsurprisingly, Weller confirmed that the team did not previously work on this app, so it's up to you whether to make or not to make that connection. Even web comic creators Merryweather, which drew a sponsored comic for the Kickstarter, renounced their support for the project, tweeting that they have refunded the sponsor money and vowed to research clients more thoroughly in the future. If you have donated money, you should be able to withdraw it before the funding period ends. If you have donated a substantial amount and are unable to withdraw it, please message me below this tweet and we will compensate you personally. So there's a mountain of evidence suggesting that AnimeTube is a scam, including many public figures who have either criticized or renounced the project. Of course, the people behind AnimeTube either deny or have a convoluted explanation for everything. And I guess Kickstarter isn't buying it because 2 days ago, they suspended AnimeTube's project until further notice. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're now aware of this Kickstarter project. Beware. I know we all want to have a new anime streaming service to compete with the existing ones, but this one right here, AnimeTube, is not it. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.